Hi, fellow heirs. Welcome back to Weekday Wind Down with the Word, where we are reading the book of Genesis. And today's reading will be coming from Genesis 17 in the NLT version. This chapter is where Abram becomes Abraham, the mark of the covenant, and where Sarai becomes Sarah. So let's get started. When Abram was 99 years old, the Lord appeared to him and said, I am El Shaddai, God Almighty. Serve me faithfully and live a blameless life. I will make a covenant with you by which I will guarantee to give you countless descendants. At this, Abram fell face down on the ground. Then God said to him, This is my covenant with you. I will make you the father of multitudes of nations. What's more, I am changing your name. It will no longer be Abram. Instead, you will be called Abraham. For you will be the father of many nations. I will make you extremely fruitful. Your descendants will become many nations, and kings will be among them. I will confirm my covenant with you and your descendants after you, from generations to generation. This is the everlasting covenant. I will always be your God and the God of your descendants after you, and I will give you the entire land of Canaan, where you now live as a foreigner, to you and your descendants. It will be their possessions forever, and I will be their God. The mark of the covenant. Then God said to Abraham, Your responsibility is to obey the terms of the covenant. You and all your descendants have this continual responsibility. This is the covenant that you and your descendants must keep. Each male among you must be circumcised. You must cut off the flesh of your foreskin as a sign of the covenant between me and you. From generation to generation, every male child must be circumcised on the 8th day after his birth. This applies not only to the members of your family, but also to the servants born in your household and the foreign-born servants whom you have purchased. All must be circumcised. Your bodies will bear the mark of my everlasting covenant. Any male who fails to be circumcised will be cut off from the covenant family for breaking this covenant. Sarai becomes Sarah. Then God said to Abraham, Regarding Sarai, your wife, her name will no longer be Sarai. From now on, her name will be Sarah. And I will bless her and give you a son from her. Yes, I will bless her richly, and she will become the mother of many nations. Kings of nations will be among her descendants. Then Abraham bowed down to the ground, but he laughed to himself in disbelief. How could I become a father at the age of 100, he thought. And how can Sarah have a baby when she is 90 years old? So Abraham said to God, May Ishmael live under your special blessing? But God said, No. Sarah, your wife, will give birth to a son for you. You will name him Isaac, and I will confirm my covenant with him and his descendants as an everlasting covenant. As for Ishmael, I will bless him also, just as you have asked. I will make him extremely fruitful and multiply his descendants. He will become the father of 12 princes, and I will make him a great nation. But my covenant will be confirmed with Isaac, who will be born to you and Sarah about this time next year. When God had finished speaking, he left Abraham. On that very day, Abraham took his son Ishmael and every male in his household, including those born there and those he bought. Then he circumcised them, cutting off their foreskins, just as God had told him. Abraham was 99 years old when he was circumcised, and Ishmael, his son, was 13. Both Abraham and his son Ishmael were circumcised on the same day, along with all the other men and boys of the household. Whether they were born there or bought as servants, all were circumcised with him. Wow. Wow. And that, circumcision still stands today, but it began as a covenant with Abraham, signifying that he will bring many nations, many descendants through him. That just blows my mind, just how God does things. It boggles my mind, and it lets me know that, God can tell us things that we don't understand, or it may not make sense to us. But we have to trust and believe that it will happen. Even like earlier when I read that Abraham laughed. He kind of laughed to himself. Yeah, how can I produce a child at my age? And how can my wife produce a child, bear a child at her age? And he kind of laughed, but at the same time, I do appreciate that he still stayed obedient to the Lord. He did exactly what the Lord told him to do. And he did not delay. And again, I just pray that I can be as obedient to God. And I know that I'm not always obedient to God, especially immediate obedience. I'm still thinking, got to mull things over sometimes. I'll give you an example. I saw somebody that needed help, and I did not help them. And I was thinking, I was being selfish at the time because I was like, well, I don't have time to stop and help that person right now. I got to go do this and got to go do that. But that was really selfish of me. And I was telling my husband about it. He said, you just missed your blessing. You just missed your blessing. And so I struggle. But I'm praying that God will continue to give me another chance until I get it right. And I'm obedient, and I do not, I'm not so selfish. I just put it that way. I'm not so selfish to where when I see the right thing to do, I'm going through my mind about, what's going to happen, how it's going to impact me, what all I got to do on my list. Do I have time? No. If a person needs help, I need to help them right then and right there. And I don't need to be thinking about all this. God will work it out. When he see you doing good, he's going to work it out. That now, I guess it, I kind of see how, sometimes there's homeless people on the street. And sometimes you might have food on you, you can give them. Or sometimes you might have some money on you, you can give them. And sometimes people say, oh, don't give them money. Don't give them money because they, a lot of them on drugs. That's what they're going to do. They're going to go and buy the drugs. But I just can't listen to that. I give them, if I got some money on them, I give them money anyway because you never know. You never know. You never know if they are on drugs or if they're not, or if they haven't eaten in days. You just don't know. They could be out there scamming, but that's going to be between them and God. And that's how I should look at it. Y'all, I've been talking about myself. I'm going to try not to be talking about myself so much, but that's how I should look at it when, I see somebody in need, and I know because of the book I read, I should help them. It shouldn't be, if I do it and I'm late for some reason, then God will work that out because I was doing good. And he said, if you do good to the least of these, you're doing it unto me. So I have to keep that in mind. I know I probably went out on a tangent. I'm at the end of this video, but I hope you guys enjoyed this lesson. Please, please, please add a comment as to what God has told you, what you've seen through this chapter. Thank you for listening. Have a blessed day. Bye.